ChatGPT just solved one of the biggest problems for new YouTubers in a single update, and it makes every AI thumbnail tool that came before it completely obsolete. So they just released version 2.0 of their image generator, and that lets you create multiple finished thumbnails in under a minute with as much or as little direction as you want to give it. A year ago, you would have had to hire a designer for thumbnails like these. Even just a week ago, you could get pretty close with AI, but there was always a little bit of cleanup you'd have to do afterwards, which if you're not a designer, you wouldn't really know how to do anyway. So before we get into how to use it, let's talk for a bit about why this is better than earlier models and even better than Nano Banana, which everyone used to think was the gold standard for AI thumbnails. Well, first of all, I have to say, I never thought Nano Banana was good at this to begin with. It never got my face right, and it just completely copied any reference you gave it without really making it your own. Like, it even keeps the timestamp and the edges around the thumbnail itself. It's just kind of sloppy. And the last version of ChatGPT's image tool was honestly not bad. It's what I've been using to make my own thumbnails up till now, but it had flaws too. First of all, it never got the dimensions right. It wasn't wide enough, so I'd always have to bring the image into Photoshop to fill in the gaps. And if you don't have Photoshop, which most people don't, that was a real problem. But now it just gives you a perfect thumbnail in the right size. All you have to do is download it and you're done. The new version can also make multiple versions at once. So if you ask for 5 concepts, that's what you're gonna get. So you can just choose what you like best, and you can either use it as is or ask for any changes. It's a huge time saver. But the biggest upgrade for me, this model actually thinks before it designs, which means you can just tell it what your video is about, and then before it actually generates anything, it's gonna think through how to sell that idea visually. So what you get back isn't just a pretty picture, it's strategized. And that matters because a thumbnail has one job to do. It has to convey a concept clearly enough that someone wants to click on it. So it's not just a design tool anymore, it's an all-out thumbnail strategist now. But enough talking, let's get our hands dirty now. I'm gonna show you exactly how easy it is to get thumbnails like these, designed in minutes, and the one thing you need to be careful of as we go. So let's get into it. Now, I did say you can do this process with as much or as little as you want to give it. At bare minimum, you probably want a photo of yourself. So what we're going to do here for our exercise today is we're going to remake some thumbnails that aren't so good into ones that are better using the right images and other elements you'll see as we go. So we got a volunteer here. So we're going to remake this one right here because these thumbnails are a little busy. There's too much wording here. So all I need here is I'm just going to take a screenshot of this lady here. You would just bring your own photo into it. And then I also see that she's got some a color scheme going on. So I want to honor that. So I would just take a screenshot of this color, and then we're going to go into ChatGPT. So what I did here is I uploaded the 2 colors as well as the image of the host. And then I put in this prompt. Make 5 unique thumbnails featuring this woman in the provided color scheme. I'll paste the script for the video, and that's a really good workflow to do. So if you have your script written already, you just pop it in here, then it can use that to strategize what should go in the thumbnail. And if you don't have a script yet, I will go over a few other ways in some other examples. But for now, I'll paste in the script, use it to strategize 5 different angles, meaning the thumbnails should all hit a different angle or a different hook. They all shouldn't just say the same thing. And keep each thumbnail to no more than 3 objects. That's important. You want it to be super clear and not overly busy, including the woman. Concentrate mostly on bold, short statements that would grab attention. That's just good practice. That tends to work really well in thumbnails, just like a really short, punchy statement. Okay, so I let it run, and this is what it gave us. So we have 5 different thumbnails here. And I think they're pretty good. They definitely use the color scheme that we gave it. I really like this one. And the statements that it shows are pretty good. I mean, I think that these are really impactful and they're pretty interesting. I mean, if you compare that with what we started with here, I definitely think it's a big improvement. It's definitely going to get clicked on a lot more than something like this. But let's move on to our next example. So I found this channel. It's a really small one, brand new. And I just think some of these thumbnails just feel a little dry. And I want to show you a really cool feature that this new update can do. So we got this one here of him just kind of doing a whiteboard style video. So again, I'm just going to take a screenshot of him just so we have a reference of him. And I'm also going to take note of the title. So, all right, so I just start with uploading the image. And then I said, make 5 unique thumbnail concepts for a video titled get 50% more reach on LinkedIn posts without clickbait. So it's good to give it the title. We'll get to why in a second. So I say use the man pictured. I'm pasting in the transcript, so synthesize the strategy into a detailed whiteboard presentation on at least one of the concepts. So I'm saying I want this whiteboard concept as at least one of them that you're going to give me, because that also tends to work really well. And it also happens to lean into one of the strengths of this new update. It can do really well with a lot of writing and like kind of coming up with visualizations of charts and strategies and stuff like that. So if you give it a script, it can turn that into this really realistic looking depiction of it on a whiteboard or whatever you want to do. So it's just something cool that I wanted to try here. And I said include a few others that hit up on different angles of the video. Again, we want all of them to be unique, and all should build on the title, not repeat it. So that's why I gave it the title, is so that it's not going to just repeat that in the thumbnail. That's not what you want. You want your thumbnail to hit on something different that's not in the title. So that's why I said that, and you should too. And I also said include bold statements again, tends to work. And I noticed he was using a blue color scheme, so I thought we'd go with it. But this time I didn't specify the blue, I just said blue. So there's different ways you can go, right? The last one we actually showed the colors. This one we're just being more general with it. And then I just pasted in the whole transcript so we can turn that into what's going to be on the whiteboard, right? So here is what we ended up getting. I think this is pretty cool, and this looks very realistic. Like it looks like a real marker drawing on a whiteboard. And we have a pretty impactful statement here too. And this blue to me is much more like vibrant than what we had on his original thumbnail. So to me, it stands out. And we've got some more concepts here. You know, that's not bad either. Nice and vibrant. Kind of a LinkedIn screenshot here. That's pretty good. Hook is greater than hype. This one feels a little more muddy to me. Like I'd probably go with this one personally. And this brings us to what I was saying you want to like watch out for as you're doing these thumbnails. So if you look at these thumbnails, as well as the ones that were made for this channel, it tends to lean into a certain style, right? It loves to do this like the tilted text. And these to me just, they feel very thumbnail, right? They feel like what was really popular a couple years ago. I think they still work, but my point is it helps if you can go a little further and give it a reference of a thumbnail style you like. So let's see exactly how we would do that. So I found this thumbnail, which I actually don't think is bad, but I think maybe we could make it a little bolder, a little more interesting. So we'll take this overall style. So I'm just gonna screenshot her, but then within the same niche, I found this thumbnail that I think is just a little more eye-catching. So what we can do is we can take a screenshot of this thumbnail itself. So then in ChatGPT, I just uploaded the thumbnail image as well as the image of the host. And I said, redo this thumbnail, but swap in the woman, make yellow letters pink, just to show you how you can make changes. And remove the profanity, because we do have kind of an F-bomb illusion here, while keeping the statement impactful. Provide a few unique versions. So you'll notice in this case, I didn't even tell it what the title was. I told it nothing about the video. It's just kind of taking its cues from what it's already seeing in this thumbnail. So let's check out what we got. I think these look pretty good. It says be magnetic, stand out. So it's taken what we've given it, and it has not just done a one-for-one match, right? Some of these are different in terms of composition. So be unignorable in any room, how to command attention, be irresistible to the right people. These are all really good and really good hooks for a thumbnail. But let's see how we can take this even further. So you can ask for changes, you can ask for edits. So you can either pick one that you like and just click edit, and then you'll edit that one. But what I did, I just thought the lighting was a little flat. I think it was flat on her original photo to begin with versus this one is very kind of dramatic. So all I did is say, make the face lighting more Rembrandt, like in the original thumbnail. That's kind of an art term, a photography term, and see what it did. It made it much more three-dimensional and just kind of more interesting. So it's all the same thumbnails, but the lighting is just a little more improved. So just goes to show you can chat back and forth with it to get what you need. Now let's see how this can play out for a few other styles. So I found this thumbnail, which I just think is kind of, it's really busy and it's really gray. It just doesn't really stand out. So I think we can definitely do better. And one thing I found here that kind of gave me the idea to shoot off of is right here. It says, life is too short. I think that's a great hook for this thumbnail. So this is the kind of thing you can do when you come to the table with an idea yourself. You can tell it what you want. So I'll just grab a screenshot of him And I wanted to use a reference again, but this time I want to show you can go outside the box. You don't have to get something that's just in your niche. So in this case, I found this thumbnail right here, which is a really popular style now. It's just kind of stripped back. It doesn't look like one of those crazy thumbnails with all the bright colors. And I just want to show you how we can repurpose something from a side niche into yours. So we grab a thumbnail of this. So I just uploaded our reference thumbnail and the photo of our host. And then I said, remake this thumbnail style, but remove the YouTube plaque and replace the man with the one in glasses. Text should say, life's too short. Give me several options. Okay, so then it gave us these options right here. Not bad. It even kind of changed the expression of him, which is nice. Because a lot of times it'll just give you like exactly what you give it, which is a side conversation worth having. So what you probably generally want to do when you do one of these is you want to just do a quick snapshot of you making the face that you think should be in the thumbnail. It helps. Because once it starts changing your expression is when it starts looking a little less like you. So here's another instance of talking back and forth with it to get what we want. So right now, I feel like the text is too high, because in this version it was because there was an object here, but there's no object here. So I think that should just be more down here. So I just said move the text down more to the center, which it did, gave us all the same versions. But now I just feel like it's just not bright enough. It's a little dark. So I just said brighten the lighting a bit, and this is what we got. I think this is a winner right here. I think it looks great. All right, and this is Kieran. He's one of my students in my YouTube to Clients Academy. And I thought we could maybe improve this one right here. Nervous to move your back, here's why. I'm just gonna get a screenshot of him, but maybe I won't use this one. Maybe I'll do this one. It's just a little more clean. So I'll grab that. And I think I do want to use some kind of reference here, some kind of a style guide. So I found this video right here. It's about back pain, so I thought it was great. So I'm just going to get a screenshot of that. Now what I like about it is it's nice and clean. There's not a lot going on. It's just very kind of bold and impactful. And again, just in ChatGPT, uploaded the thumbnail for reference and the photo of Kieran, and just said, make 5 unique thumbnail concepts for a video titled Nervous to Move Your Back, Here's Why. And then again, I just said most of the same things that we've already said before, so we won't go into it. But look what it gave us. Like, I think this is really clean and really nice. And we got a few different options. And again, like maybe these statements aren't the best, but I think what would make it better is if we gave it the full context and the script, and it would probably come up with even better little slogans here. And since I'm making this video about thumbnails, why not make the thumbnail for this video using the same method? So I found this thumbnail by Matt Gray, and I feel like this might be a fun one to try to recreate. So I just grab a screenshot of it, and then here we are back in ChatGPT. I uploaded that image, a photo of me, and I know it's the back, but it still needs to see like what I look like to kind of recreate what the back of me would look like. And I went a step further. I included an image of my background here so that it's not just gonna make it look like his background, it's gonna make it look like mine, which is another hack, by the way. You can always upload just a photo of your room, photo of you, it'll put it together and it'll look super real. So I just said recreate this thumbnail with the provided man in black t-shirt, just showing his back, and use the provided interior space as the background, but darken it. Change the text to AI solved thumbnails. So that's another cool hack. You can take anything, any thumbnail with existing text, and you can tell it to change it. You can even tell it to change the font or the color, anything. And then I said on the computer screen, show ChatGPT Image Generator 2 making a colorful thumbnail. So here's what we got. I think it's pretty good, but I thought maybe it's a little dark, so I said make the UI on screen light mode instead of dark mode, so it brightened it up there. Then we're gonna keep going, add in more of the light colored foreground elements on the desk from the original thumbnail, so it's kind of adding in more foreground elements to brighten it up. And I said make it feel more cinematic, more glow. Then I thought it was just kind of like too saturated, so I just corrected it and say, just make it more glowy and atmospheric, not oversaturated. And this is what I got, and I'm pretty happy with it. Now, I don't know if that's gonna be the final thumbnail or not, but I'm liking it so far. But thumbnails are just one thing that ChatGPT can help you with when it comes to making your videos. So click right here to see my exact AI workflow that I use for every video I make that literally cuts my planning and scripting time in half. It's super powerful, and it goes way beyond what most tutorials on here are going to show you. So if you want the AI playbook, just click right here, and I'm going to show you my entire system start to finish. I'll see you there.